What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I want to talk about Raiden. Now, in case you don't know, the past couple videos I've been making, most of them have been about the buff era. I have been tired of the community, especially with this game, complaining about nerfs, 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 and nerfs. Like, I am over the nerf mentality. We need to be in the buff era. It's just annoying that all people kept whining about was nerfs, 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 and NRS was listening. They kept nerfing over and over and over again, and we barely got buffs most this year. And they're finally starting to change for the better. And I just want to continue with my trend of videos where I'm just talking about the characters that I feel like need some help. Now, Raiden is one of the characters I'm not too sure about, but I still want to make a video on him anyway because I'm kind of in the middle on Raiden because I do still think he's obviously a viable character, but Raiden has reached that point where there is no reason to use him. So with the other characters, I just thought they were just flat out bad. Garrus, Smoke, I just don't think they're good at all. But Raiden, I think he's usable, but there is no reason to use him. And I just don't think that's a good thing, personally. I do think he's like lower on the tier list in the game, and Raiden is helping me figure out that threshold of the characters I do think need help. So let's start off talking about Raiden and why I think he isn't in a good position right now, currently in the game. Again, the main thing, there's just no reason to use him. Raiden has been stripped of literally everything that made him good. And he really doesn't have anything much left to his kit. So again, with this video, I'm not really sure where I would put Raiden, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to know by the end of this video the more I talk about him. So I'll have my for sure answer by the end of the video. So with Raiden, again, there's no reason to use this character. Everything that this character does gets outclassed by the cast. There is not a singular reason to pick Raiden unless you just like Raiden. He has nothing really going for him anymore. And let me break down why. See, the thing about Raiden, Raiden was a jack of all trades character. Raiden was kinda a jack of all trades character, I should say, because he had a little bit of everything, but had some things he did better than the rest. But it wasn't like he was just, you know, base level in every department. He was kind of like a 4 here, a 8 there, a 7 there. He was a kinda jack of all trades. That, I think that's the perfect way to describe him before. And Raiden never really fit into multiple metas. That's what people need to understand. And what I mean by that is he fit into the Cyrax meta. We've had like 4 or 5 metas in this game, and he fit perfectly into the Cyrax meta. But ever since the Cyrax meta, he really did not fit into the Kameo meta. He wasn't meta with Kung Lao. He wasn't really meta with Striker. He is okay with Chameleon. Like, it's good, but, Chameleon has so many better options you could just throw her on when, she was just flat out undisputed. I still think she's undisputed, but you at least have more options to fight her now. Raiden never fit perfectly in any meta but the Cyrax meta. And he had his own meta. His meta was Kano. When, during like 3 different metas, he was using Kano in those metas, and he was doing just fine with Kano. He was, doing this into the teleport shenanigans. He was doing that, and then he was still plus, so he can apply mind games and everything. Well, not even mind games. He was just applying mix and pressure from almost anywhere on the screen. And yes, he still has the knives to get in and everything, and he has this, but they specifically nerfed this multiple times, and I mean multiple times, to where the game plan behind it isn't strong anymore. But they did it on purpose. They didn't want Raiden to be played like this anymore. Now, what they did when they took that from him is they took away the main way he was played. And when I say they nerfed everything about this, they nerfed everything about this. They made this move more negative. They specifically nerfed the interaction it has with Kano, I'm pretty sure. And they also nerfed the damage on the chip. So little by little, they have been chipping away at Raiden each meta. And I finally feel like we're in a meta where Raiden isn't shining. And I feel like he hasn't really been shining for a while. It's just this one is obvious. And the main reason I say that is because, again, Raiden was a character who was unique in his, own way. He had his own meta with Kano. Yes, Kano was good on other characters, but no one made Kano shine like Raiden made Kano shine. And now that that's gone, you have seen the Raiden stocks plummet. This character is barely played. He is not popular at all. You barely see him in tournament. I can't even remember the last time I saw a Raiden player, like, in general, in any type of tournament, anything. And if you think that is okay because he had his time, then I completely understand that. But again, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, I don't ever think it's a good thing for there to be no reason to use a character. And to break down more what I mean by that, there is not a singular reason to use Raiden in this game, unless you just like Raiden. Everything that he does can be done by another character and much better. And let me just break down a lot of the tools I'm talking about. So the mobility, like, yeah, he has to teleport and everything. He has to teleport, and he's still able to do the stuff with Kano and a lot of other assists by getting in with the teleport, but this falls under the mobility category, and there's just so many characters with better mobility than him. Let's talk about the mix-up department. He has an overhead and a low that are 5 frames apart, if I remember correctly. Let's go ahead and do it right here. It's 15, yeah, 19. So he has the overhead and low, which this was really good because combined with his chip and his pressure, that's what made this overhead so scary. But now that that's gone, you're taking this overhead. You were taking it before. It's just after you took it, he put you in a scary position where you were eating like a whole bunch of chip and he was looping it and he was plus again. But this really isn't, plus anymore. Now, the frame data right there is very misleading because it's like if you want to make it, let me show you. So I'm going to have Raiden do a reversal armor. Enhance electric field. So I'm going to do this. Any way to make it plus is unsafe. So he doesn't have it anymore. So he can't really gel it safely anymore. There's always a way out for it. And he just, literally they went out of their way to nerf that. And they didn't want him to be played like that anymore. So the mix department, he's not really, shining in that. The pressure department, he doesn't really have plus frames like that, and they took the chip away, so he's not really good in that department. So the mobility, there's so many characters with better mobility. There's so many characters with better mix. There's so many characters with better damage because they nerfed his damage a lot. He used to be able to hit very freaking hard, and now he hits like a little harder than I don't want to say Tanya, but he hits around, the average realm. Just slightly above average, or if not just average. So characters have better damage, better mobility, better mix, and another thing like the strike throw pressure. He is a character, I don't get this grab, right? Because this grab looks like he should be able to get so many grab combos with the cast, but he really can't. with most of the cast. He can get grab combos, obviously, with some of the cast, but most of the cast is not getting him a grab combo. Like Mataro, I think he can. I'm pretty sure Mataro can. I think the timing is just awkward. Yeah, he can. And I feel like this grab should have just given him more options off of, you know, the throw combo. So he has just below average everything, honestly. There's no reason to play this character anymore. Like, doesn't have. He doesn't do anything in this game at even a top 10, debatable 15 level. And I mean, he doesn't have like top 10 pressure, doesn't have top 10 mobility, doesn't have top 10 damage, doesn't have top 10 mix. He just doesn't. And I don't feel like that's a good thing. And I feel like it's really hard for them to have balanced this character because Raiden had his own meta. He didn't fit into the meta, so they literally had to go out of their way to specifically nerf him. So, what do I think they can give Raiden to make him worth using again? Honestly, I genuinely don't know how they could give this character something that's not going to put him back to where he was before. Because the thing about Raiden, even when I was making those videos about Johnny, talking about how they could nerf Johnny when Johnny was just undisputed, had no peers. I still think Johnny's undisputed the best, but he at least there's options to fight him now. But before, when he really had no peer, I even said with Johnny, don't nerf what makes the character good. Take away what he doesn't need. But the thing about Raiden is he didn't have much of stuff he didn't need. He just had what made him really good, and it was crack. And they nerfed all the assist options, literally every assist option he had that made him good, and they just left him in a spot of limbo now. And usually by the end of the videos, I have like a way that they could change a character, what they can do for a character. But honestly, I don't know what they could do for Raiden besides putting him back to where he was before. And I don't think that is something they're going to do. NetherRealm never reverts nerfs on purpose. But I feel like, thinking about it now, maybe just give him his damage back. I would say that is the first thing. Because if you want to leave him in a spot where he really isn't doing anything near a top 10 level, like not any part of his kit is near a top 10 level, I think you're going to have to give him at least something to make up for that. And while, you know, they don't revert, giving him a different amount of damage back wouldn't necessarily be a revert. It would just be a buff in a way. And I still feel like with certain cameos, there is hope for this character. So the two I wanted to show off right here, where I don't feel like enough people are talking about them, is Mataro and, let me find them right here. Mataro and Trimmer. I feel like both of these assists help him out because they still kind of let him play the old way he used to be able to. He can do this right here, and now that this goes full screen, he can hit you with the chip move, and then he's out of there. And as you saw before, he still gets a grab combo off of this, and he has this move right here that's plus 13 and has a gap, but he has a way to keep pressuring you off of the Mataro call in that comes in really fast. And he also can do this right here, call Mataro, and just get in. So I feel like if you are using Raiden, this should definitely be something you test out on him. And I feel like it gives him just more options, more old school options that he had, just minus all the pressure and chip from before. And the other option is the trimmer pick. Now with the trimmer pick, trimmer makes this safe, like without having to be pushed back all the way. So I've already labbed it. Like you can do multiple of the trimmer moves without having a gap. You can actually make them gel. So he still gets the chip pressure, and with the trimmer buffs being in the game now, that see that cooldown, that's coming back fast. So that still might let him apply his old game. And he also gets a throw combo. Now, it is a little weird to do, but he gets it. I'm going to keep doing it until I get this. It is a little funky to do. See, right there. So he could get a whole throw combo off of this. And another really good thing, if he is in the Aftershock one, you call him Metallic in, he can kind of do stuff like that and get in. See, I really feel like people need to look at Trimmer more, because characters that in, you know, the first month or two that were really running rampant with ambush assist, like Raiden, Baraka, and even, I wouldn't say Scorpion was running rampant, but he had that chain spin into Cyrax, which was good for him. And Raiden had the chip, and Baraka had the dash thing into Cyrax. I feel like Trimmer low-key lets you still do those things because he comes back really fast. He just takes some work. So for all the people that are still holding out for, you know, for all the people that are still using Raiden and trying to make him work, I feel like you really need to look at these two cameos. And again, I feel like this one helps out his pressure. And a lot of people don't know that, what is the Trimmer actually has really good like pressure after he calls this in, because those can be hard to blockables. Like he can walk in behind them after setups, and they're actually not bad at all to run behind and just go in for your 50-50, like going after the low and applying some type of 50-50, not necessarily like Kung Lao hat, but kind of, honestly. So again, that's just a video I wanted to, you know, address on Raiden, you know, just talking about the state of Raiden. I think that's what I'm going to title this video, the state of Raiden. I feel like he is in a position to where he might be able to be saved with Trimmer assist, and Mataro is still a decent option, but I just feel like in his current state, there's no reason to use him. And if you disagree with that, I'm not sure what to tell you based off of that, because I don't know what reason there is to play this character over so many other characters in the game. So, but again, he had his time. He was very good for a while. So if he is not that good for the new patch coming out with all the characters, if they want him to take a back seat, then I can understand that. But again, I just don't think there's should be no reason to use a character, because there's so many characters in this game that are really good in this current meta. There's so many S tier characters, and I feel like Raiden is a good threshold of letting me know for like the buff era who I think should be buffed. So yeah, again, that's just my take on Raiden and everything. Let me know what you think about Raiden in this current state. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and Nickopz out.